And we're live. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. What?
All right.
What, mate?
Hey, it feels so good to finally be back on the podcast again.
Feel like you cut off there for a second.
Hello.
Okay, I'm back again. That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. It was like finally back on the butt.
Let's
Right,
take a break.
let's take a break. Right, welcome one and all to the Lucky Hit podcast episode number 85.
Wow,
Milestone.
85.
Is it a number or an episode?
It's both. it's the episode number 85 on the 25th of August 2020. Right, so I'm the Gagaman.
I'm CherryT.
And I'm Big Elk, and I want a big cereal.
Alright.
Are we going to keep it serial?
Yeah, keep it very serial. We also have Hunk Thunder on his way. Basically, he's on a bus at the moment. He's been to London today, and he will be here shortly. So when he's here, he will introduce himself. Also, we don't have Shelf Gamer this week. He's not available this week, so that's why there's four of us. Well, currently three, but it will soon be four. So
Yeah,
yes.
You're lucky you got me this time.
Yeah, because you almost had another power cut, didn't you, or something?
Almost, yeah.
It's been very stormy weather everywhere. We've had some pretty crazy weather today here, just lots of wind and rain, and I guess that's been the same where you are.
Yeah. And then last week I wasn't on because I had to drive a friend of mine to get a surgery done. And I won't go into details about the surgery, but let's just say I found out afterwards that it turned out to be a life or death situation.
Whoa.
So if I had stayed here for the podcast, no offense to you guys, I certainly would have regretted it forever.
Yeah. That kind of thing obviously comes first.
Yes.
So, anyway, yeah, I'm glad that went all smoothly, I presume.
Yep, everything went fine, thanks.
Fantastic. Right, so I guess we shall start this thing how we always start these things, with what we've been playing. Seeing as you haven't been here for a week, Elk, I don't know if you want to go first?
Oh, I guess I might as well, because I've been playing a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
Except for a while, I hadn't been playing Phantasy Star Online 2. I almost said Final Fantasy Online 2. Because I had a hard drive crash. My hard drive that I use for all my games as well as my video production projects actually broke into a million pieces. No, I'm just kidding. It didn't actually shatter. It just kind of died. And this is why it's important to always back up your drives like I did, because I had video projects I would have had to cancel if I didn't. Anyways,
it's the lucky hit curse. It's contagious. As soon as you join the podcast, that's it. You're part of that curse now.
yeah. But to be real, it was kind of an old drive. Probably like 8 years old now. Anyways, I got a new drive, so I reinstalled PSO2, and I finally got back into that. And there's been a lot of different events going on that I'm glad I was able to take part in. We got some new concerts. We got two different Persona concerts, one for Persona 3 and one for Persona 5. And it's made like those Persona dancing spin-offs.
Oh, yeah.
So when you go to the Persona 3 concert, they play Mass Destruction, and they have the characters from the game dancing on the stage. If you go to the Persona 5 concert, you have a remix of the song Rivers in the Desert with Persona 5 characters dancing. And you'll have to
a bunch
forgive.
of signs saying, no, it's not coming to the Switch, shut up.
Yeah, and it's not coming to Steam either. Well, maybe it will.
It might
But
eventually.
oh, you know what else ain't coming to Switch, by the way? PSO2. At least
Not
not for North America.
Yeah, not in a form that we can play, no.
Anyways, yeah. So there was that. And of course, the annoying thing about these particular concerts is they make you press buttons to keep with the rhythm of the music, just like in the games.
Oh, right, so it's like a little
And
rhythm game. Huh.
yeah, and it's actually not that difficult, but the marker that you're supposed to match the buttons with is in the corner of the screen, so it makes it hard to actually watch the characters dancing.
Yeah, you're just looking in the bottom corner. It's a bit awkward.
Yeah, well, it's actually the top corner, but anyway.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, you do get a combo for doing this, but as far as I can tell, you don't get anything special if you get a good combo or anything at all. So you may, I, I don't know. I might as well just, if I get to see this next time, I'm just gonna not press the buttons and see what happens.
They just take money away from you.
I
You
guess.
didn't take part. We're just going to take some of your rare items.
Yeah. And speaking of rare items, there's another concert. It's like an Obon festival, a special type of festival in Japan, where they have this big circular stage, and anyone who is there for the concert gets to like stand on the stage and they dance to the music. And there's two songs that play during this. And guys, guess who sings the first song?
Is it Miku?
No, it's not Miku.
Is it
Uh,
Anpan Man? Is
who?
it Anpan Man?
Anpan Man.
Anpan Man.
I'm just picking I'm just picking random Japanese characters off the top of my head.
No, it's not him either. But hey, what's the first singer you think of when you think Sega?
Oh, Mr. Daytona Man.
And Gagaman says, "Mr. Daytona Man." Ding, 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 ding.
That's the name I've
That's
given him because trying to remember his name and pronounce it correctly on the
His
spot
name-
is not my forte.
Well, his name is Takanobu Mitsuyoshi,
That's
and
the
he
guy.
and he has the first song, "We Are Arcs." And then once he
Did he just take the song "We Are Burning Rangers" and just change it to Arcs?
No, it's a completely different song.
Right.
Yeah, he shows they actually modeled him in the game, and he shows up right at the
nice.
top in the center of the stage, and he sings the whole song while all the players' avatars are dancing all around the stage. It was great. And then after he's done, he disappears and he gives the floor to three other people that I have no clue who they are. There's two girls and one guy. And they have their own song that they sing too. It's called Rare Drop Koi Koi. And that's the special thing about this concert. This song is all about getting rare items. So I'll educate you. Yeah, so I'll educate you a tiny bit on Obon festivals or something that happens during them.
I have heard of them. I have seen the odd thing related to them, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I actually took part in one years ago, and I
nice.
learned about this fisherman's dance that they do at those festivals sometimes, where they pray for a big bounty for the fishermen at sea.
Yeah.
They pray for them to get lots and lots of fish. In fact, for any Overwatch fans that might be listening, this same dance was actually added as an emote to the game for Hanzo. So you've probably seen this dance.
Fair enough.
Anyway, we don't do the same dance in PSO2. In fact, I'm pretty sure they made it up. But it's the same sort of idea. We're all dancing for a blessing of extra rare items in the urgent quest that immediately comes after the concert. And and the whole idea was so adorable. And of course,
sorry.
And
talking about Mr. Daytona Man, he did like a live stream for like I think it was like his 30th anniversary of being at Sega. I haven't watched it yet, but I wonder if they did this event on PSO2 in relation to that. I presume it was in the last week or so.
Well, I don't know. They don't actually mention this sort of thing, and it's possible they've been doing this event for a while in Japan. But I have no clue.
Possibly, yeah. It might just be another song he contributed to a Sega game. That live stream, I haven't watched it yet, but apparently it's basically just Sega staff giving him food and presents for an hour, and then he just occasionally sings in between stuffing his face with food. That sounds brilliant.
Yeah, it does.
Just apparently, like a big birthday bash for him.
Yeah, I've heard about this. That was supposed to be a live in-person event, but then a certain world world health crisis happened, so they made it a live stream instead. And I
Hmm.
like how they actually told people what food they'd be serving in case
Mhm.
they want to actually make that food for themselves.
Hmm.
That's
But
cool.
anyway, I don't think this Arcs Dance Festival has anything to do with that.
Yeah,
That and
probably
there's
not.
also the fact that both of the songs were in English, and they probably were in Japanese for Japan.
Possibly.
Yeah, and then after that it comes an urgent quest, and most often they have an urgent quest called Beach Wars, where you go to the shores of a tropical planet in the game called Wopal, which is decorated like a beach resort.
Hmm.
So you go there and you have to fight a bunch of enemies, and by doing so, you get a chance at some exclusive rare items,
Hmm.
which I actually managed to earn a few of them. Most of it is weapon camos, which change the look of your weapons. Some of them are based on stuff like one's a camo for wired lances, which makes it looks like floating tubes. The
Hmm.
other one is for rods, which makes it look like a kickboard. And the special thing about this event is you get even you get an even higher chance at getting rare items if you go there with one of the new outfits that they made available in the summer vacation premium set, which I actually managed to get a couple of them. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
I still need to properly get into PSO2. I've literally only put about an hour into it so far, and all I've pretty much done is done that little prologue bit and walked
oh,
around a bit, and that's about it so far. So I need to
that's
jump in on it.
right. The game's available in Europe now and
Hmm.
32 other countries.
Yep.
I really thought I really thought you guys were going to have to wait till next year to play PSO2.
Yeah, thankfully that's not the case.
But they yeah, thankfully.
Just all the hard drive space it takes. It feels like I'm obligated to get on with playing it, just because of how much hard drive space it's taking. It's such a huge game.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot, but I'm also thankful that you're already able to get it from Steam and you don't have to deal with the Windows Store like I did for a while.
Hmm.
It was worth it to play the game, but the Windows Store is so bad. It's
Hmm.
so bad. Like there's been times where I tried to play the game from the Windows Store version, and it would just randomly crash as it's starting up, and I wouldn't be able to play for the whole day, and I just have to pray that it would work tomorrow. And then other times the game would just get corrupted, and I'd have to download it again.
What? That
And
whole
then and then
70
it would
gig
be
or whatever it is.
yes, the whole
Jesus.
damn thing. And then and then
That's
the
horrible.
and then when it's done, that would be corrupted, so I'd have to download it again.
Jesus.
And
Man, I'm glad I didn't have to do it that way.
yeah, and you know what? I actually did buy the Raw Gold Memories pack so I could get the classic PSO stuff, and I ended up buying it 3 times by accident
What?
because when I only tried to buy it once, and I just kept pressing the buy button because I thought it wasn't working. It wasn't giving me any confirmation. It wasn't sending me a receipt in my email. No,
Ooh.
turns out it was working the whole time, and they just don't
Did,
tell you.
did you at least manage to get your money back for the other two?
Yeah,
Ah,
I did
oh,
get a
that's something.
refund.
Whew.
I had to argue with customer support for a while
Mm.
in order to in order to find out how I got how to get my refund, but yeah, I did manage to get it. But at the same time, I managed to also retain my 3 raw gold memories pack. So I got 3 for the price of 1.
Oh,
And
well,
that's
that's
the
good.
thing. I didn't even know you could buy this more than once. I thought you could only get it once.
Hmm.
Apparently not.
Well, yeah.
So,
Huh.
and you know what's really funny about this? When I was talking to them, I was telling them all the problems I was having with the Windows Store, and they were telling me, they were instructing me on how to uninstall it and reinstall it. And you're not going to believe what they told me. So first of all, you can't uninstall it from your computer. It's built into Windows 10. But they told me to uninstall it, and then they told me to reinstall it from the Google Play Store,
What?
the App Store for Android devices.
Uh. Okay then.
And then they were trying to show me where to find it from the Windows Store. They kept showing me a bunch of links on where it is in the Windows Store, and guess what? It wasn't there. They were
What you've
showing
got to
me
do,
links.
right, is you've got to download the Steam app from Google Play, and then through Steam, you have to install iOS. And then you can get
Yeah,
Windows Store.
and then from there you install the Nintendo eShop.
Yeah.
like, I fully expect the next time I have to contact Windows support, they're gonna tell me, "Sir, why do you keep asking us to fix your Windows? We're a software computer company, a software technology. God damn it, a computer software company." Like they're gonna think I'm talking about literal Windows.
Hmm. Well, what else have
Anyways,
you been playing?
the 31st anniversary of the Genesis launch date in North America came up last week.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
So, wait, was it last week?
Yeah. Sometime in the last week or so, yeah.
Oh, no, it was 2 weeks ago.
Ah.
It was the 14th.
Oh, okay.
So I played a bunch of Genesis games over the past week. Um, I actually played a lot of Echo the Dolphin lately.
Oh.
Uh, I've been really enjoying that game a lot more lately because I'm having a much easier time being able to figure it out on my own.
Oh,
Because
that's
that's
good.
one of those games where if you played it as a kid, I'm sure you had no idea what you were supposed to do and where
Yep.
you're supposed to go.
Yep.
Even though there's a lot of times in the game where someone flat out tells you where to go.
Hmm.
It's one of those games where you still can't figure it out no matter what you do because your brain's not fully developed yet, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so. The game's just
Yeah,
damn
so
hard in general, even if you do know what to do.
yeah, there are a lot of times where it is kind of difficult to navigate. And there's a lot of legitimate head scratchers among the puzzles that you do have to do. Like
Hmm.
how was I supposed to think that you get through a hole in the bottom somewhere where it keeps pushing you up by pushing a rock into it and then swimming from above the rock so it blocks the water flow against you.
Ah, yeah.
I don't even know if that's possible in real life.
Not realistic at all.
Uh, yeah, I played some more of that. I played some more Vector Man. I beat Vector Man again.
Oh, nice.
So
I've
yeah, and
never got that far in that one. I think I got about halfway through it, I think.
oh yeah, this would be the second time I've beaten Vector Man now.
Hmm. Nice.
Of course, I actually find it a lot harder to beat it when you go with the cheat code that lets you skip ahead in the game because in the earlier levels, there's a bunch of items that you find if you just happen to know where they are that can get you some extra lives and some extra hit points,
Hmm.
which is going to be very necessary because this is also kind of a tough game.
Oh, yeah.
And when you start ahead with the cheat code, it just starts you off with the default number of lives. So let's see. I've been playing Comic Zone. Still can't beat that again. I beat it once from the Sega Genesis collection, mostly because I was abusing the rewind feature, but there
Yeah.
was still a couple puzzles on the way where I still haven't been able to figure out what to do.
Hmm.
But that's another game where I've gotten a lot better at it than I was as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been playing those games on the Genesis Mini most of the time.
Oh, cool.
And I've also been playing Shining Force 2, which
Ah.
isn't on the Genesis
Mm.
Mini.
Oh yeah.
I've been
Ah.
playing that via the Sega Forever app on
Oh
my
right.
phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of the apps is Shining Force Classics, which includes both Shining Forces and Shining in the Darkness in a
Oh.
single app.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
I've actually been playing that since last year from my phone. I this is if you remember my Sega Genesis 30th anniversary video last year, I actually recorded all my footage from Shining Force 2 as well as the first Shining Force from that app. And
Hmm.
I did it that way because being on my phone, I'd be able to play it everywhere, anywhere, and I'd be able to progress a lot further in the game than if I had to be tied to my TV or something.
Yeah.
Mm,
How did you
that's
manage to
true.
Because I
capture
didn't
footage of
want to.
the app?
Yeah, there's quite a few
Well,
apps that let you screen record, so
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I guess it
'Cause
was.
remember,
yeah,
I was
well,
trying to use stuff like that before, wasn't I?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, well, I used to have this tablet called the NVIDIA Shield tablet, which I did the recordings with. Because the game,
Oh, yeah.
when you make save states in the game, they're saved to the cloud, so I could play on my phone, and then I could continue later on my tablet when I'm ready to record.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah, and so doing it that way, I'd be able to play through the game on my phone. So, like, most of my time playing that game, I was actually playing it on the treadmill at the gym,
Oh,
at the gym.
Really? Huh,
wow.
that's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I was playing a lot of the first Shining Force, and I had never played Shining Force 2 before this app came out. So then at first I was going to put the first Shining Force in my video, and then I tried Shining Force 2, and I was so hooked, and I realized I liked that game a lot better than Shining Force. So I thought, yeah, this one's going in the video instead.
2 is fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't finished that one yet, but yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I've gotten quite far in. Like last time I had it, it was on that Ultimate Collection on the PS3.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I've gotten pretty far in the game too. I've already gotten to the point. I'm already past the point where you return to, I think it's called Grand's Island, the
Oh, yeah.
island that you start the game on.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then that's the part where it gets really difficult, so it's been slow progressing from there. But yeah, the game is fantastic. I especially love the music in the game.
Oh,
Like,
certainly.
Hmm.
oh, it's so much better than the music from the first Shining Force. Like the first Shining Force compared to this, it felt like whoever did the music was just phoning it in. Not like this one. This one's on a much grander scale.
Hmm.
And it's one of those few soundtracks where it gives me that warm nostalgic feeling, even if in spite of the fact that I'd never actually played this game as a kid.
Yeah.
Heck, I've never even heard of this game when I was a kid.
No, me neither. Like,
Mm,
role-playing games were completely a genre that completely passed me when I was younger.
mm. I think I must have been about 13 or 14 when I first played Shining Force on the Sega Smash Pack on Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah.
How I went through the entire game with that horrible plinky plonky like audio, I don't know, but
Oh, the sound emulation on that
Oh
collection is
God.
horrendous.
And with the
But
music from that game, I can't imagine how much worse it sounds from there.
oh,
Ooh. I actually first played that game from the Play Sega website.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that. It was an old game portal that Sega Europe started in the
Vaguely.
late 2000s. They
Yeah.
had a bunch of Genesis games that you could play from your
Was
browser.
was that the one that had that Sonic construction kit thing where you could make your own
That's
levels?
right.
Yeah, that's what I
That was
mainly
one of the
used it
games.
for. Yeah, that's what I mainly used it for. That was quite fun
Yeah,
to tinker around in.
yeah, and I signed up with it to get the USB Saturn Play Sega controller, which I still have right now,
Cool.
although it's been outclassed by the recent Retrobit controllers
Oh,
because
of
they have a
course, yeah.
longer cable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played a lot of Genesis games for the first time from that website,
Hmm.
like Biohazard Battle, Dynamite Headdy, Kid Chameleon, which, by the way, I was playing those games too. I'm getting a lot further in Dynamite Headdy.
Yeah, that game's tough. Like,
I don't think, I'm pretty sure the furthest I've gotten that game so far is the shoot 'em up levels.
not surprised. That's where the game starts to get really nasty.
Yeah, that's about where I peaked when I was playing the game last year, again, to
Hmm.
record footage for my Genesis video, and I've not been able to get further than that since then.
Hmm. I've the only time I've ever legitimately beaten Dynamite Heady was on the Ultimate Collection on the Switch because of the rewind feature. I did have that game as a kid, but yeah, I think the shoot 'em up section was about my limit. But then obviously I did know of the level select code back then, so I used to just play all the levels that way. But I never legitimately sat and played it from beginning to end as a kid.
Yeah, I actually don't use the rewind feature much, only because I completely forget that it's there. It's one. It's just Comic Zone was one of those games where it just pushed me to remember that there is a rewind feature, which
Hmm.
really helped me figure out the solution to a lot of puzzles in that game.
Cool.
And I think that's about. Oh no! I was also
Hmm.
playing Splatoon 2
Oh yeah, same
because
here.
they did this the chicken versus the egg Splatfest again,
Oh, which did you
where
go
it's
for?
which did I go for?
Hmm.
Well, the whole thing is you're supposed to pick based on whether you think it was the chicken or the egg that came first. And I'm
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
real with you guys, I actually don't know which one I think came first. So, like the first time this Splatfest happened, I just went with Team Chicken because that's the team
Ah,
that sprays the white ink.
God. Yeah, I was worried when they re-announced this one. It was like, oh yeah, it's that one again. Yeah, the one where the ink. Hmm. Yeah. Um, I went with egg. My logic for picking egg was if I had to cut out one of the foods and only have one of them, I would pick egg and get rid of chicken. That was my logic. If that makes any sense, I wasn't going by the what came first because who cares. But like, yeah, that was my logic, and also because a few friends on a Discord group were also picking that, but we ended up losing anyway. So
Oh yeah,
again,
yeah. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, Team Chicken won in the end. I forget which team won the first time around.
I think it was the same. I think it pretty much played out exactly the same last time as well.
Oh, I'm guessing the Team Chicken must have outnumbered Team Egg, because most of the people joined for the white
think
ink.
I think Egg was actually the most popular because it won on popularity, but then the actual matches were won all pretty much by chicken.
Oh, is that right?
That's quite
I
often.
actually,
Quite often that happens quite often in Splatoon 2. Actually, the most popular one is usually the one that loses.
oh yeah, I actually hadn't fired up in the game yet after the Splatfest ended, so I don't really know how the winner was decided. I just had the winning side spoiled for me already.
Ah,
And then other than that, I've also been playing more Ninjala because season one is about to end, and I wanted to get as far up the tier list as I could
ah,
before season two starts.
mm.
And then I'm probably going to end up paying for season two, and we're going to talk about why later.
Yep, we certainly will.
Yeah, so pretty sure that's about all I've been playing. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go next if that's cool. Um, I think
It's
Hunk
not
Thunder's.
cool. No, of course
I'll
it's
leave.
cool. It's your
Um,
splat. It's your podcast. I almost said it's your Splatfest.
it's our podcast. It's everyone's podcast. Um, yeah, I played a little bit of Splatoon 2 over the weekend for the Splatfest. So there was that. I didn't play as much as I wanted to, but I got a little bit in. Really weird with that game, as I've always stuck to the same like weapon set and not bothered to really change it at any point. For some reason, I've just stuck to the same thing the whole time. Uh, I don't remember what the gun's called, but it's just like this big suction gun looking thing that just blasts a lot of ink out quick. And then I've got like the stomping special where you just sort of slam down. I've always found that quite satisfying, so I always
The
seem to stick
Ultra
with that.
Stamp.
No, not the stamp. The one where you sort of like jump up into the air and stomp down, and then leave this big circle of ink.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, hey, who is that? Why could it be? Why could it be? Hold on a sec.
I don't know if he's actually ready to come on yet. You'll have to let us know. Yeah. Anyway. Also, I've been playing loads more of Taiko no Tatsujin on the Switch. Drum and Fun because I've gotten really addicted to the online mode. And funnily enough, I mentioned about they added a load of content. I'm trying to remember if I said this last week or not, but basically the day after we did the last podcast, they added another mode to the Switch game, which is basically like an esports tournament mode. So now you can play up to 7 other players in like a tournament setup. And every single time I've played it, it only ever seems to find 4 or 5 people, and then it fills the rest with bots. But it's pretty cool because you basically, obviously, you play against one person, and then you go into the semi-final and then the final. But while you're once you've done your match, you can spectate the other matches, which is quite fun. You can just sit there and watch other people play it. I think it's pretty cool. Trying to think. Yeah, I think my favourite thing about this tournament mode, though, is you get to pick, because again, there's like easy, normal, difficult, and extreme tournaments, and you can just pick what ones you want. But for each tournament, you can pick 2 songs that you want as like your playlist, basically. So when it comes to the semi-finals and the finals, it will take one of those songs you've picked, and then it will take one of your rivals' songs, and it can include DLC. So what I really like about this mode is, because I haven't bought any of the paid DLC yet, if anyone picks paid DLC, I can actually play those songs. That's pretty cool.
Sweet! You can sample any songs that you hadn't paid for yet. See
Yeah,
if you want to buy
exactly.
them.
Yeah, exactly. I find that quite nice. If people are picking DLC songs, I can try them out once and see what I think, and see if I actually want to buy them at some point, if I can find out what pack they're in, you know? Because there's stuff like, I think they've got like a Zootopia song in Japanese as DLC. They've got loads of Ghibli stuff, tons of original songs that Namco made, and a few other random ones like some Dragon Ball music and stuff like that. It's just, it comes to a lot of money if you start buying a load of that. I think if you wanted to buy all the DLC, it would cost more than the actual game does. So I haven't touched any of that stuff, but there's been quite a bit of free stuff in that game as well. So that's all good. So that's what I've mostly been playing. Mainly just been playing Taiko. Also,
Sorry.
just want some water. Tried out a few demos as well. I know Hunk Thunder, he was talking about this game. He got a promo code of last, or he got the actual physical version from the company, Riven game called Avicii Infector. Yeah, there was a demo up for that, so I gave that a little go. That seems pretty cool. Basically, I had a ton of demos just sitting on my Switch, and on my day off the other day, I just ploughed through all of these demos, and I think it sold me on at least 3 games. Yeah, so it was that Avicii Infector. It's kind of like you're like this little spaceship, and you can sort of fly around in sections, but then you go onto like a road, and then you got like ribbon parts with like all different buttons where you jump from lane to lane and all that kind of stuff. That was pretty fun. Don't really know Avicii music, but it seemed fine. Like it works as a rhythm game. Thought it was cool. Might pick that one up one day when it's cheap or something. Another demo I tried out, I definitely want to get this one at some point. It's a game called 1993 Shenandoah. So it's a shmup, but it's done in an Amiga aesthetic, and like everything about it just screams from the top of its lungs at Amiga. Like specific like stuff like Super Stardust and Project X, all those kind of like Amiga shmups that Team 17 and other developers made. It like the font work, the music, the HUD elements, like all the like chrome and like really like silly little touches to all the graphics around the edges, like where the score is, like everything about it just screamed Amiga. And within like the first minute of playing it, I was like, yep, I love this. I want to get this. Yeah, that game seems really neat. It's also got a really good upgrading system where there's loads of different ships to purchase. Basically, every time you shoot an enemy, like coins come out and you collect the coins, and you can, there's like something like 30 different ships, and you can like bolt different weapons to the top and the bottom of them, and you can combine do all these different combinations and stuff like that. And I thought that seemed really cool. And the other demo I tried was this one called Kunai. It's like this side-scrolling, sprite-based hack and slash platformer where you play.
Did you say Kanai or Kunai?
Kunai. It's you play as like what looks like a little iPad ninja. It's just like an iPad for a face, and it's just got like a little cute face on the screen, and you're basically fighting all these like CRT ninjas. It's got really nice like
CRT ninjas.
Yeah, they're basically just CRT tellies with like swords and stuff. It's really neat. Like it's got really nice animation. At one point, you get these 2 like grappling hooks for the left and the right of you, so you can just grapple hook your way around everywhere. It's just got really satisfying like physics, I guess. Like when you like attack people from below, if you're jumping, you sort of bounce off them a certain way, and then you can do all this nice little combo stuff. Yeah, it seems really nice. Yeah, I think that's mostly what I've been playing. Just Switch demos, Splatoon, and Taiko, really. I also obviously did that Amiga stream the other night as well. If people want to check that out and see us basically cheat our way through the entirety of both Rodland and Parasol Stars. God, Parasol Stars was tough. That game was ridiculous at one point. Turns out one of the bosses we wasn't doing right, and we were basically just attacking it and attacking it and attacking it for about 20 minutes. And apparently you have to hit it in a certain weak point that didn't really make very obvious. But yeah, we had a cheat code on where you literally just press the T key on your keyboard and it skips the level. So what I found fascinating about that as well is the Amiga version has an exclusive world, or I presume it's an exclusive world. It had like a bonus world that you get if you do the true ending. And it was so obviously designed by Ocean and not Taito, because it had all these sprites that were just completely clashed with the art style of Parasol Stars. You know, it didn't have that Robo Islands bubble look to them. They were just like these weird, clearly European like British sprite designs and stuff. And like the final boss was just like this segmented demon thing with like its heart exposed, and it kept puking lava and stuff. And the whole area, like the music and the visuals and stuff, it just didn't. It looked like you were playing a completely different game, but with the same character. It was really bizarre.
Good old Ocean.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really bloody good port. Otherwise, like, you know, everyone thinks that Ocean games are just automatically garbage, and they did put out a lot of garbage, but they also put out fantastic ports like the Parasol Stars one, and obviously like Rainbow Islands and stuff as well on the Amiga.
Well, most of their garbage was console games. I don't really know about their Amiga games.
Oh, they did plenty of trash on there as well, don't worry.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been playing. Do you want to go next, CherryT?
Yes. Okay. Today I was playing a game that is not a Pokemon game. And other than Pokemon, it was basically it's just a silly little like browser game that came out recently. I believe it's called Rabbids Wild Race.
Oh yes, yeah. You didn't get around to telling me about this yet.
Rabbids, like Rayman Raving Rabbids.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been a while since they've done anything rabbits.
Not anything major anyway.
Or even anything full stop.
Well, this is just a little minor like browser game.
Mm.
But yeah, it's like I think it's mouse clicking controls, and like I think it comes up with about 30 other players, and they're just start auto running, and you just like dodge obstacles, collect stars, and that.
Oh, so it's like an auto runner thing,
Yeah.
but like a massive multiplayer one, but you just got loads of them on the screen at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's like 99 or anything. It's about 30 odd.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the highest I got so far was like second in the one
Oh, that's
round.
not bad. Considering you only started playing it today.
Yeah, I think.
Is it like 2D graphics or?
Yeah, it's
3D?
2D.
Oh, is it? Like all sprites or?
It looks a bit like remember in what was it? Well, it wasn't that same wacky style as like TV Party, but it was a similar like lineless style.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. The 2D mini games in TV Party. Yeah, I always liked those. I thought they were really neat.
Yeah, basically, there's a little division of Ubisoft games now called like the Nano.
Okay.
So,
are they in charge of like mobile stuff?
Not so much mobiles, just like browser stuff or like simple things like. I want to imagine that Rabbids coding game is like amongst that as well.
Oh yeah, of course they did that thing to teach kids coding, didn't they?
Yeah,
a little while back.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
I still haven't actually tried that yet.
Yeah, I wonder how long this new one What's it called again?
Wild Race.
I wonder how long this will actually last this time. Because do you remember when they did that one on? I think it was on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
What was that called?
It was Invasion.
Oh, Rabbids
But it
Invasion.
was before the cartoon was coming out.
Wasn't that like some kind of isometric thing?
It was like a Farmville clone, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That didn't last very long, did it?
It lasted about 8 months and then
Yeah.
got shut down because I guess it got too like overrun with like bug reports and that.
Oh. Not overrun with bugs, overrun with people reporting bugs. Or
Yeah, and bugs. Actual
wow,
bugs.
Just for good.
Like actual like game breaker bugs that were caused by some kind of thing that's completely unrelated to the game, but in Facebook. Yeah, I think what happened that year was I shared like a video about like the Rabbit Island in Japan, and then the game stopped working like completely, and I sent so many tickets back and forth like with them saying like try different browsers. I've tried different browsers. I've tried clearing my cache and everything, but they didn't know what the problem was. It never got fixed, and I was never able to play it again because
hopefully this one doesn't end up that way.
Because I think a short while after that, that's where they shut it down. So yeah, so it's that, and then other than that, it's just the usual like flipping between different Pokemon games and Dr. Mario and stuff, as well as what we've been playing on Amiga.
Yeah, cool. Right, I believe we have Hunk Thunder.
There you go.
Hello.
Hey, here he is.
Hello.
The lights keep flickering. I'm scared.
Was it just as stormy for you as it is for me?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, we're having a bit of...
Did the earth shake for you?
having a bit of a bad time, hopefully, in the UK, so...
Yeah,
although we're
weather's
completely
crazy today.
Yeah, we're completely different parts of the country, but we seem to have the same...
pretty
sort
much?
Yeah, same sort of storm going on.
Yeah.
Taking over the whole of the UK. Hey,
I guess you're done with what you've been playing, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry. Sorry, CherryT.
It's okay. I've only just been talking about like that Nano.ubisoft, which is like the it seems like there's just the Rabbids one and this Trackmania one.
Oh, okay. What's that called?
Trackmania Blitz.
Oh, okay.
Looks like it's like another little
interesting.
Another little browser game.
Alright, does that work on your phone as well, or just on your computer? It looks like it works on your phone.
Yeah, it looks like it works on phones as well, like phone browsers.
Yeah, Trackmania's a thing that I've always wanted to try, but never actually got into. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I know a new one just came out.
Too. Didn't know they had a browser game.
Yeah, they're just it just seems like it's like free live multiplayer games with this like little division thing.
Doesn't
not
have any,
not the division. It's just like
thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little side thing.
Yeah, no microtransactions or anything like that.
I don't think so.
Thank
sorry,
God.
I keep coughing.
Right, so is that
Yeah, I'm done.
Right.
So I didn't catch that Elk.
No.
Sorry, were you talking to me?
Oh yeah, we didn't hear what you just said. That's all.
I was just saying, I hope Cherry Terrier isn't coming down with a cold.
No, it's just typical white food triggered coughs. But yeah.
Ah, okay.
Right, so what have you been playing, Hunk Thunder?
Now
that you're here.
I've been I've been testing the Avicii Invicta. I know you touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
I am officially on the leaderboards for like the first 4 songs.
Oh, nice.
because not everyone has a copy at the moment, because obviously it's not out until the beginning of September. But yeah, there's a few names I recognise on there. One being one of the London Nintendo groups. So
cool.
Obviously he's made a name for himself. Basically, he's a rhythm games player anyway, so that's to be expected. And the other, I'm not sure how many people know of her, but Gander Chris. She makes custom amiibos and actually made one of Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Oh, cool.
Well, this is the one that was actually seen in the background of his video when he was announcing he'd be retiring from Nintendo.
Yep, that's the one.
Really? Oh, cool.
Yep. And I'm better than her at Invicta.
She's better at making amiibos than you are, but you're better at her Invicta. Avicii. Invicta, not Avecta.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little claim to fame for the next couple of weeks or so before it's out, and
just keep practicing it and see if you can hold on to your near the top spot for as long as you can. As soon as it comes out, it might just like drop, but yeah,
it will. Basically, I've hit like I think it's about 95% of the keys that they're supposed to press, and there's a few people that have already done 100%, so they're not going to be beaten anytime soon. What else have I been playing? Obviously Splatoon 2 for the Splatfest, so it's good to be back in that.
Was you on egg or chicken?
I believe I was on chicken. I actually can't remember because it was for another event that basically it's just a group of friends playing it, so we didn't really take it too seriously, but
yeah.
There we are.
No, you've got to take it deadly serious. It's serious stuff, this.
That's the thing. I know people who do take it seriously, and I do actually know professional Splatoon players. But yeah, I can't beat them ever. What else? I haven't really been playing anything other than my Switch lately, which is obviously to be expected with Animal Crossing and like Splatoon and everything. But yeah, I keep thinking to myself, I must get back into Yakuza and basically complete those stories because they're just sitting there doing nothing.
Oh my god, you just reminded me. I have to get back to Judgment. I haven't played that game in months, like not since PSO2 finally came to Windows. Holy crap.
Yeah, I've been juggling Yakuza 0 and Judgment, so I've fallen behind with both, so there we go. And also I've seen a few well, I don't know if it's because they're going to announce something soon, but it seems to be more social media posts about Like a Dragon out there at the moment.
I think it's because it's coming out. I think they've announced a release date.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
yeah. I believe it's coming out this holiday season with the Xbox Series X and possibly the PlayStation 5.
Yes, November 13th. That's when it's coming out.
Okay. So
on Xbox One X or Xbox One, Windows 10, PS4, and Steam, apparently. And then it'll come out on PlayStation 5 at a later date, apparently.
I'm fine with it not being on PS5 straight away, because obviously you're not going to be getting one straight away.
Well, no.
So
going to be the PlayStation 4 version will be backward compatible anyway.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, I think that's about it for me this week. Hopefully I will expand my gaming horizons soon. But
actually reminds me of a game that I just started briefly playing in the week as well. I finally got around to, and this is going to become quite relevant in a second, I actually started playing Monster Boy. on Steam.
Oh yeah.
Because I basically got a free copy of it a while ago because I chipped in on the Kickstarter for what it originally was years ago. So when it was originally kickstarted, it was actually a game called Flying Hamster 2, and it was basically an unofficial Monster or Wonder Boy style game. And then the Kickstarter got cancelled because basically the creator of Wonder Boy came in and said, "Hey, let's make this an actual Wonder Boy game," but for some reason without the name. I don't know why it ended up being called Monster Boy and not Wonder Boy, but
I'm pretty sure the reason they did that was because Sega owns the trademark for the Wonder Boy name, and they weren't working with Sega at the time, so they had to come up with something similar enough.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing because they were working with the actual creator. They managed to get a couple characters cameo in it from like previous Wonder Boy games, and there is a Sega copyright on that game. So I'm still surprised that they didn't just change it to Wonder Boy at the last minute. But I don't know. It almost feels like it's a tradition for like the Wonder Boy series to have confusing titles. It's like part of it. It's almost something you expect at this point.
It is weird the way it progressed like that. I actually completely forgot that it started out as a flying hamster game.
Yeah,
I actually remember the first flying hamster.
Yeah, it was a shmup on PlayStation Mini.
Yeah, it was a shmup, and then there was an HD version released on the Vita, I think. That game was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I played it on PS3 as well. Yeah, that game was really good. That's why I ended up kickstarting the sequel, which was obviously a completely different genre, but it was like, oh, it's like a Wonder Boy thing. Now, what makes Wonder Boy games, I said to myself back then. But as we perfectly transition into the news...
Ta-da!
Yeah, that's about to change.
Yeah, well, actually, you say that, it has changed in the last few years because basically it's been a very, very, very nice time to be a Wonder Boy fan in the last few years. Because obviously that got kickstarted quite a few years ago now, and it came out in 2017, and we also Monster Boy, and we also got that remake of Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap by the guys that later made Streets of Rage 4. And that game was absolutely bloody brilliant as well. So we've got a remake of probably my favourite Wonder Boy game. We got a sequel to that game, essentially, by a different name.
There's also Sega Age's Wonder Boy and Monsterland, as well as that Wonder Boy remake, if you want to count those.
Oh yeah, definitely count those as well. I haven't played the Wonder Boy Returns yet. It's kind of like a cutesy...
I actually have. I've played that on Switch. It's alright.
Yeah, I mean, like, the original Wonder Boy is quite simplistic anyway, so there's only so much you can do with that, I suppose. But, yeah, all these games just coming out within the same space of time, and now we have another one to add to the list, because it has just been announced that we are going to be getting a new Monster World 4, basically, like the one that starred Asha. That was on the Mega Drive, the one that finally got translated quite a few years back on the PS3 and the 360, and then they put it on the Mega Drive Mini. You know, it only came out in Japan originally on the Mega Drive, but managed to get a cult following, finally got translated some years back. But now we're getting... This was actually this new game, which is fun. It's called Wonder Boy Asha in Monster World, which is a bit weird because she's not a boy. So I don't know how that happened, but there we are. The game's called Wonder Boy, not Monster Boy, not Monster Girl, not Wonder Girl. Not I don't know. They're doing
it's
it
like
again.
It's like how the X-Men are called the X-Men, even though some of them are female.
Yeah. No, I guess so. I'll just pop the artwork up here. So yeah, this was actually mentioned as... I think there was like a copyright for this game quite a few months back. And I think the assumption was it was going to be a remake of the Mega Drive game, but judging from what they've described this as so far, it's actually a sequel to that game. That's what it sounds like. And the best thing about it is it's actually going to involve a majority of the original creators of the Wonder Boy series. Like, I think it's actually been made by a majority of the same people, the original composers on it, the original character designer, the chief creative officer, the series creator who also worked on Monster Boy. It sounds like they just got everyone in from the original game to work on the sequel. We haven't seen any gameplay of it yet, but apparently they're going to be showing it during Gamescom on the 29th of August. So we haven't got long until we'll actually see some gameplay of this thing. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it looks like. It's going to be published. It's been developed by ArtDink Studio, and it's going to be in conjunction with In Games, who are the same guys that published that recent Bubble Bobble sequel, I guess you can call it.
4 Friends?
Yeah, Bubble Bobble 4 Friends. They published that game, and I think they're going to be working with Strictly Limited Games to do a physical version of this as well, so I'm definitely going to be jumping on that. Yeah, so I'm really excited by the fact that it's a sequel and not a remake, because as good as a remake would be, I've already played that game, and the idea that there's going to be a sequel is even more exciting. That's better in my opinion. We already had a remake of Dragon Trap. I would have been fine with a sequel to a remake of this, but yeah, a remake's even better, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that we kind of recently got Monster World 4 again as part of the Genesis and the Mega Drive Mini.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is,
I mean, it's good that they did that, because, like, if you didn't play it on the Wii Virtual Console or the PS3 or 360, you might have missed out on that English translated version. And the fact that they put it on the Mega Drive Mini is just brilliant. Like, I'm really happy they did that, because as far as I'm concerned, this is probably one of my favourite Mega Drive games ever since I played it on the PS3. I was like, yep, this game's absolutely brilliant. It's quite linear compared to some of the other like Monster World games, I suppose, but like I think I like that anyway. I think it was the first Wonder Boy game, or like the first Monster World style Wonder Boy game that I actually played from beginning to end. And yeah, just love the characters, love the art style and the music and everything. If they could do more of that, I'll be very, very happy indeed. I just really hope it's going to be like, I hope it looks like this artwork, for example. Like, if the actual game looks like this artwork, I'll be very, very happy. It'll be very cool. So yeah, that's pretty much all we know about that right now. But yeah, you got any other thoughts on it?
I was just looking up the developer, ArtDink, and I'm wondering if this is the exact same ArtDink, because this studio that I'm looking up here, they are known for the A-Train series.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same guys, yeah.
Yeah, they've also made a couple more recent games based on some anime, like Macross, Dragon Ball Z, Madoka Magica, Sword Art Online.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think ArtDink have been involved in this series in the past, but as I say, it's got a lot of the original. Yeah, it's got the original creator and composer and character designer and all that. So
yeah, so if it's got the original staff, it's still a perfect situation for a sequel.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I'm really looking forward.
Or even if it was a remake, these are the kind of people who knew what was so great about Wonder Boy in the first place, because they're the ones who made it.
I mean,
so there's no second guessing here.
I feel like if you're a fan of any kind of Wonder Boy, every single angle has been covered except for that one weird shmup they did. What was it, Monster Lair? I think it was called Wonder Boy 3.
Wonder Boy 3 Monster Lair.
That's the one. The other one called 3 for some reason. Yeah, until someone makes a remake or a sequel to that one, can't say they've done everything, but they've basically done everything. Like, you know,
I guess.
Because Monster Boy, you had the original creator of the series involved, so that turned out as fantastic as it did. I've only played about an hour of it so far, so I haven't seen how great it gets, but apparently it's fantastic, like absolutely amazing. And then obviously the Dragon's Trap remake, just superbly put together. Probably one of the best remakes I've ever played, if I'm honest. Like the fact that they had the source code to the Master System game. It's basically the exact game underneath, like in the code, to the point where you can actually use your original passwords from the Master System game, and they all work in the remake. That game.
That's
really
some impressive remaking.
Yeah, because it was programmed by guys that worked at SMS Power. I think that's their name. And it's people
really?
that it was programmed by someone that basically data mines the like reverse engineered the entire game. Yeah, so
That's neat. I had no idea that SMS Power people were involved.
yeah, that's what I just can't believe how good the Wonder. Like, I can't believe that there are technically like 3 physical Switch Wonder Boy games. Yeah, there's a Wonder Boy game coming out in 2021, and then there was like several that came out in 2017. It's just bonkers to me.
I do really like. I'm actually looking at it right now. The actual cartridge for the Dragon's Trap.
Yes.
It actually has like the red and white checkered bar system
It does.
cartridge.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a nice touch to have something
Also,
like that.
the reverse art is the box art to the Game Gear, the Japanese Game Gear version.
Yeah,
And on the reverse sleeve, all the screenshots are of the original graphics that you can change it to in game. And it's got like in the corner, like when you've got the normal cover, it says like in the corner it will say, oh, there's a retro mode, and it shows a screenshot of the Master System graphics. But when you put it on a reverse, it's the opposite. So it's got like new modern mode, and it's just got a little screenshot of the game with the new graphics. It's just really cute.
Struggle Genius there.
Really fantastic. Yeah, absolutely love that Wonder Boy is like this. Like, you could pretty much play every single Wonder Boy game, almost every single Wonder Boy game, as far as. Yeah, I think you can play pretty much every single Wonder Boy game on the Switch. This game's currently announced for the Switch and the PlayStation 4. And yeah, it's going to be sometime next year. But as I say, it won't be long until we see gameplay of this. So, looking forward to that. What can we jump into next? Oh, I guess I could update y'all on the Astro City Mini.
Yep.
So basically, there was I think this was, how long ago was this? A few days ago.
Yeah, only a few days.
I think it was last week.
Yeah, it was about 5 days ago or something. Basically, there was a Japanese live stream where Sega showed off an additional 13 games. I may as well just go down the list of what they announced, because obviously we knew of how many games did they announce prior? Was it 13, something like that?
Yeah, it was 13 out of 37 games.
Yeah.
So now we know about 26 games.
Yeah. So the first game they announced was a really nice surprise for me. I did not expect this. The first game they announced was Cotton.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one either. That's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, because Sega did publish the arcade version of this game, and it does have their logo on the title screen, but this game is developed by Success. So I really didn't expect to see that, and when they showed that, I was like, oh, that's great. I love Cotton. Cotton games are extremely expensive almost all the time, so it's nice to have one on here. There was a Neo Geo Pocket version of this game that I really wish I could have got. There was actually a PAL release of it, and now it's worth an absolute fortune, because almost every game in the series is.
Right. There was also a TurboGrafx CD game, which I recently played in an emulator. That game was really cute.
I think that is the original, that is the first game, yeah, like a port of it. Or some kind of like enhanced port. I think there is actually supposed to be a remake of Cotton coming to the Switch soon as well, because I'm pretty sure that got announced a little while ago. So
yeah, there is a remake on the way at some point.
And I know the character from Cotton is playable in the latest Umihara Karaze game as well. So, like, I feel like Cotton is starting to become like what's happened with Wonder Boy. It's like, hey, remember this old obscure Japanese franchise that some people were really into? Let's bring it back. It's like, yeah, yes, please. I'll take that. If they can re-release Cotton 2 or Cotton Boomerang onto the Switch, that would be absolutely brilliant, because then I wouldn't have to pay a fortune for the Saturn version. The only one I actually own is, or if they could do some kind of Cotton collection, that would be absolutely fantastic, like the Mega Drive game, the 2 Saturn games, stuff like that. The only one I actually own, and again, I got this quite cheap, but now it's worth a fortune, is the Dreamcast one. And that's probably the weakest game in the series, but yeah. Moving on, the other games they announced were Shinobi, the arcade versions of Shadow Dancer and eSWAT, which are quite interesting because these have never actually been released before outside of arcades. Because the Mega Drive versions were completely different games. These are the original arcade versions. They've also got Crackdown, Game Ground, Pio Pio, the original Columns, because they already announced the sequel, so there's 2 Columns games. Bonanza Bros, which I'm happy about. Puzzle and Action,
Ichidant R.
That's the one. I sounded like Bruce Forsyth for a second there. And then going back to Wonder Boy, it has Wonder Boy in Monsterland, and Wonder Boy 3 Monster Layer. So it's got all the arcade Wonder Boys on it as well.
I often forget that Monster Layer was an arcade game.
Yeah, I always just associate it with the Mega Drive, but the reason there's 2 Wonder Boy 3s is Monster Layer is the 3rd arcade game, and Dragon's Trap is the 3rd Master System game. I think that's how that happens, but yeah. Either way.
In case that makes it easier for you to remember which is which.
So, that's not all they announced. They also announced a additional kit that you can buy for the Astro City Mini that basically extends it upwards into like an actual Astro City cabinet. It's got like a little extra bit at the bottom, and it even comes with a little tiny chair.
Yeah, pretty cute.
It's
in case
adorable.
You feel like having your action figures play with the oversized controls.
Yeah, that'd be quite nice if you got one of those like Figma Virtua Fighter characters or something like that, which I'd really like to get. You could put that sitting next playing Virtua Fighter on it. That's pretty cool. So yeah, it's called the Astro City Mini Game Center style kit, and it's going to be about $38, and it's been sold separately, obviously. One thing I found out about pre-ordering from Amazon Japan is you can only sort of pre-order one thing at a time. So if you want to pre-order that, you're going to have to pre-order it as a separate order. But yeah. What else did they mention? So yeah, that was basically what they showed off. Oh, it also comes with one of those little see-through plastic bits that sit on the top of the cabinet, and you can slide like little flyers into it. And I think it comes with a set of flyers.
Marquee.
Yeah, the marquee. Yeah, it comes with a little marquee you can stick on the top, and then you can slide in like a little Virtua Fighter sign or whatever you like in there. So that's really cool. Also, I'll just find the tweet of it quick. A few more games also got leaked. So there's an additional 3 games that are known about. I'll just quickly find the tweet. Quickly. Hang about. Quickly find it. Or not quickly find it. It's already been too long.
I only remember one of the games from that leak.
Here we go. So, basically when they were showing off the some of the like little bonus things that they're selling, because there's loads of other little bits they're doing as like little bonus things you can buy, including like this little money box that has the bear from Altered Beast and Opa Opa inside it. And like when you put a coin on it, Opa Opa pops out and grabs the coin. And as it opens, you just see the bear from Altered Beast. But one of the other things they were selling is just like a bunch of those little marquee like replicas that you can put inside the little marquee thing that comes with that extra kit. When they showed this off, there's a list of games of what marquees come with it, and 3 of the games on that list are ones that they didn't actually announce. So the 3 games are Arabian Fight, which I called a few weeks ago. I called it.
Good one.
Stack Columns, so it's basically got 3 Columns games on it now, and Ninja Princess, aka Sega Ninja, aka The Ninja. But yeah, there's 3 additional games. I'm really glad to see Arabian Fights being put on there, because again, never ported before, only ever playable on MAME, and even the MAME version I don't think is like a perfect emulation. That's another game, much like Death Adder and Dark Edge, that have never seen the light of day outside of emulation for decades. Stack
Pretty
columns.
sure
go
Stack
on.
Columns was never released outside of one of those Sega Ages PS2 collections that was only in Japan.
Yeah, it was all. I think it's also on the Saturn Columns collection as well because that had 4 games on it. It had Columns 1, 2, Stack Columns, and 97. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on there
Oh,
as
okay.
well. Yeah, I
I
think
was
that's where I
there
played.
too,
That's
but
actually a really good one because I think that's the first one that had uh, versus multiplayer against the computer, kind of like in 3 on the Mega Drive. I think Columns 3 is vaguely based on Stack Columns, but obviously they went their own direction with it. But yeah, I seem to remember Stack Columns being pretty good. As long as I seem to remember the music's way better than 2's as well. And yeah, Ninja Princess or Sega Ninja. This game came out on the Master System over here as the Ninja, and they basically just gender swapped it. They changed the ninja into a bloke for the Master System version for some reason. But yeah, that's another neat little game. That's a considerably older game than most of the games on this collection. Actually, that's quite a
yeah,
early
I think that's the
early-ish
oldest
Sega game.
game. I think that's the oldest game in this Astro City Mini
I
so far.
Yeah, I think it is actually. Now I think about it, looking at the list, I'm gonna say you're probably right there. Yeah, I think so because in terms of the ones they announced prior, none of them were older than that. But yeah, that leaves us with what, less than 10 games to be revealed now.
There's 11 more games to go.
Oh,
Of
okay.
course, they have to officially announce Stack Columns, Arabian Fight, and Sega Ninja because we
Yeah,
only know about those through an accidental leak right now.
yeah, I suppose, but like they're. I'd imagine they're guaranteed because they're a part of a listing for another product they're selling.
Oh
So
yeah, I'm not saying
yeah,
there's a chance they won't be there. No, they'll
no,
definitely be there.
they
It's
just
just,
haven't officially confirmed
Sega
them yet.
Sega needs to tell us about them first because I imagine they want to anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're going to show us some gameplay of those. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how Arabian Fight goes across because if I don't know who here has actually played that game before, but
I've played it before actually.
it's got some pretty wild anime-esque high resolution graphics that are quite crazy for the time period. It's basically another scrolling beat 'em up like Golden Axe or something, but they went for like a pre-rendered anime look, and everything's kind of like hand drawn. And as you do like the sort of bomb attack, like the magic attacks, you get these really like crazy elaborate for the time like anime basically cutscenes that just jump in. It's just quite interesting.
That's the thing everyone remembers the game for.
I
Yeah.
think that's what most people remember the game for. I've actually got a little figure of that knocking around, like a little Gashapon toy of the lady from that. Can't remember what her name was now, but yeah. So yeah, that's what we know about the Astro City so far. It sounds like it's going to be mostly 2D games. It doesn't look like we're going to get many more games that are like Virtua Fighter, and it doesn't look like we're going to get any super scalar games, which I know a lot of people are kind of like complaining about. It's like, where's Space Harrier, where's Outrun, where's Afterburner? But really, these are not the kind of games you associate with an Astro City cabinet. They weren't the
No.
kind of games that were played on those because they didn't have the right kind of controls. You didn't really get Astro City cabinets with steering wheels or flight sticks. I think there are like modified ones that have those, but like generally they didn't sell Astro City machines that played those games. So I guess that's why they're not on here.
Yeah, and if they did actually put Outrun or whatever on this thing, people would complain about why they put Outrun on a system that doesn't have a steering wheel to play it with because you kind of need that for that game.
Yeah, exactly. Like you want the gear stick and all that kind of stuff. So I guess the only other thing that I find a bit strange is there's barely any games, or there's basically 0 games on here that require all 6 buttons.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
bit
sure they're
curious.
going to show
Yeah.
at least one at some point, but
I mean, there
yeah,
must be a
I really
couple.
thought we'd see one by now.
Yeah, I feel like almost all of these games are like 2 or 3 buttons at most, because even Virtua Fighter is a 3-button game. Makes me wonder if they're going to use like the top row as like turbo buttons as like an option on this thing, possibly. I mean,
Oh yeah, I never thought about that.
That's a possibility, I suppose. It's just curious that they put 6 buttons on this thing when a majority of the games don't even need half of them. But maybe they'll announce. I'm trying to think what Sega games even require 6 buttons. There ain't that many. Yeah, from
I
that
can't
era,
think of
anyway.
any either. I was
Yeah.
guessing maybe Burning Fight, but I don't even know how many buttons that game
Yeah,
is.
no, I don't
I've
think
never
I've
played that one.
No, me neither. That's another like kind of experimental fighting game that Sega did just before Virtua Fighter. I think it came out the same year actually, and again, it's like high resolution. It kind of, I think it ran on a sort of
High
unusual
resolution, hand
sprites.
drawn character graphics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like Arabian Fight, but sort of a different style to that one. I'm curious if they'll end up putting that on there because that would sort of like complete the set of all the beat 'em ups that they never re-released in any form, like out of those ones.
I certainly wouldn't be against it.
Yeah, me neither. I'd be quite happy to see that. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. I think we pretty much predicted the fact that Super Scalar games might not be on this because of the controls, and other games like Title Fight wouldn't work because you'd need 2 joysticks for that one.
Not that that was a really out there prediction in the first place.
No, not really. But
I mean, that's kind of like when people were predicting that Turtles in Time would be on the Super Nintendo Classic, and that's like, there's no way that game's gonna be there.
nah.
Just because it's a very well known classic that's closely associated with the system doesn't mean it's guaranteed to be there.
Saying that, I'm still really surprised we got Disney games on the Mega Drive Mini. I was really shocked when World of Illusion was announced. I did not expect that.
Yeah, I'm still surprised about that, and the fact that we got 2 of them instead of just 1.
Yeah, we got.
And then in Japan they got that. And then in Japan they got that Yu Yu Hakusho game.
Oh yeah, that was another nice surprise on it as well.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So yeah, I guess I think they have announced when. Oh yes, so they're going to be announcing more games on a Famitsu stream on September the 3rd. It might be the rest of them. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, there's going to be another announcement early in the month. So possibly by the next time or the time after we do this podcast, we'll know what the rest of the games are. Still really looking forward to this thing. I haven't pre-ordered one yet, but I am definitely intending to.
I have.
Yeah. How much did it set you back in the end on Amazon Japan?
I'm actually looking at it now, but it's in yen. So I think it is in total about £140. So about roughly $180.
Okay.
So in total, so it's expensive, I know, but I don't even know if it's going to be released over here. So I'll just wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird. Like Sega have been very quiet about both the Game Gear Micro and the Astro City Mini in the West. I'm not sure if they're intending to bring them over at all at this point. It's kind of hard to say.
I'm kind of hoping, but it really does seem to me like both were tailor-made specifically for Japan audiences alone.
Yeah,
especially the Astro City Mini.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I've seen hundreds of Astro City cabs over here in various arcades up and down the country, but I'm not sure if Sega are actually aware that they are over here because they're all imported.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised as well. I know it's got cotton on it, but I'm surprised they haven't announced any. Well, I suppose it really depends because a lot of the other mini consoles have had third-party games on them, and I'm just curious if they're gonna like throw a Capcom game on there or anything like that. I'd be fine if they didn't. I'd actually prefer it to be dedicated to Sega arcade games because they're quite hard to get ports of sometimes. But if they did want to throw on like, I don't know, a Street Fighter game like a Street Fighter Alpha or something like that, I think that'd be a nice little bonus. If they could
I was about to say, but Capcom's gonna go to them and like, hey guys, we heard you're making a mini arcade cabinet with 6 buttons. Well, let's put a little Street Fighter 2 in there.
Well, Well, I don't know about Street Fighter 2, but maybe something like a bit later, sort of like Saturn era, like CPS 2 game of some kind would be nice, and it would actually make use of all 6 buttons as well.
Yeah.
But people are gonna find a way to mod this thing so it can play, CPS games and Neo Geo games and stuff like that. Eventually, it's almost bound to happen. So.
Yeah, that's why I wonder why some people complain about the games and then buy this thing anyway. Like, why do you care what games are on it? You're just going to hack it and
It
put
is going to get
every
hacked,
video
yeah.
game ever on it.
Pretty
anyway.
much. That's what most of these minis end up being, It is nice if you can officially own the games, like they're actually on there, so you can say, you own them in some way. But yeah, it is a case where, like, for example, that Neo Geo arcade stick pro that Shelf Gamer got. You can hack that now, so you can basically play all CPS Neo Geo. I think you can even play some CPS free stuff on it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you could put stuff on there that's not even Neo Geo games. Because why the hell not? Right?
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a nice little arcade stick, so I don't see why not. And just play anything that requires an arcade stick. I don't know if anyone's hacked that giant Capcom stick yet.
I haven't heard of it. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen anyone bother, to be honest.
I guess people. I don't know if people even care.
Yeah, like it was quite expensive.
Because I've not even heard of the Neo Geo Mini being hacked, or even the TurboGrafx 16 Mini.
I would imagine the PC Engine TurboGrafx would probably get hacked soonish. I wouldn't be surprised.
I looked it up recently, and so far nobody even has any plans to do it, as far as I can tell.
That's surprising.
And I thought they would have done it immediately, because it's pretty much the same hardware as the Genesis Mini, which got hacked right away.
Yeah, even like the NES and the SNES, I seem to remember them getting hacked quite quick. But
yeah, those too.
Yeah, either way. Right, we'll move on from that. What can we talk about next? Yes. So it feels like there's a lot of Sega news this week. There's a hell of a lot of Sega stuff just popped up. Like there was even like a Puyo Champions update and a load of other stuff. As we mentioned earlier, Yakuza Like a Dragon got a release date announcement. But even when you're not looking at Sega's news directly, you still end up just crashing into Sega because there was a reveal for the second season of Ninjala where they're going to have a Sonic the Hedgehog collaboration.
Hey, why not?
Yeah. So again, I think we may have actually mentioned this on a podcast quite a few weeks back, maybe even a couple months ago, because it was basically data mined out of the game as soon as like the open beta came out. But yeah, they found like Sonic and Knuckles and Tails masks and stuff like that. But now it's basically been officially revealed that Season 2 will include some Sonic stuff that you can win if you're on the Season Pass, I believe.
Yeah, the way they mentioned it in that developer diary when they talked about this, they kind of hinted that this would be part of the Season 2 pass. So the way the season pass works is it's a lot like the one from a lot of other games like Fortnite, for example, where you play the game enough, you get tier points that move you up, and if you pay for the pass, you get even more items than if you were just playing the games for free.
Yeah.
And the season pass always has stuff that will never be available in any other fashion in the game.
Yeah, stuff that you can't purchase with Jala coins or anything like that. They're just like exclusive to that season pass. Yeah. So yeah, they basically officially announced it. They didn't actually show anything yet, but yeah. I don't know what else to say about it really. It sounds like it's, judging by the data mine, it's mainly going to be like masks to make the characters look like, I guess, make them look like certain Sonic characters. But
I can't wait to see people mix all the masks together into a big Sonic homunculus like they do in too.
Yeah, I wonder if you can do that in Ninjala. I wonder if it's that.
Yeah, you probably can't. Wouldn't it be funny if you could?
I'm pretty sure the character creator in Ninjala is quite simplistic in comparison. You can't choose where to place items or anything like that. It just plops them where it means to put them. But yeah, that's that. It's just there's not much to say yet. I guess we'll see more of that later down the line.
We're gonna find out what it looks like tomorrow. Actually,
Oh, are
that's
we?
when season starts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Alright.
if anyone's playing Ninjala, today's your last day to get up as high in season 1's tier as you can.
Okay. Oh, alright. Maybe I should jump back into that game. Not so much for the season 1, but maybe see what this Sonic stuff's like. As I said back when the data mine were found, I think it'd be really cool if they put a full AB Rose costume and hammer. I just think that'd be really neat.
I
It'd
think
make
that would be
perfect
interesting
sense.
too. 'Cause
That'd
there's
be a good
already
way of
hammers
doing it.
in the game
Yeah,
among the
exactly.
weapons.
There's already hammers, so if they could put a Pico hammer and the appropriate clothes and hairdo and stuff, I think that would make for a cool custom character.
Speaking of weapons, by the way, with season 2, beyond just the Sonic stuff, that's also when they're going to be introducing some new weapons, which they also showed in
Ah.
the same developer diary.
Oh,
So
okay.
one of the new weapons is this surfboard, which it has a surfing attack where you ride forward on a wave of gum,
Oh, weird.
liquefied gum,
Huh?
and then there's a I forget how the other attack works, but it's you set up a big field around yourself, and if you can keep people in the field long enough, you'll knock them out in epons, which
Okay.
gets you more points than a regular KO.
I presume you watched the whole developer diary thing. Did they actually announce if
Yep.
there's going to be any actual new levels? Because I feel like we've been playing the same 2
Yeah,
levels forever.
actually.
Ah, nice.
Said they're going
Finally.
to introduce new weapons and new levels with each new season of the game.
Oh, good. 'Cause
It's
I
only
was
going to be
starting to get
one
worried
level.
it was a bit samey.
It's only going to be one level in season 2, and then I guess
Hmm.
one more in season 3. But
Okay.
yeah, it is kind of redundant playing on the same 2 levels over and over again for more than a month.
Yeah, it does get a bit old.
Yeah. And plus they'll also release a new episode of their little Ninjala anime, which
Oh
they
yeah.
have on their YouTube channel that introduces some of the important characters in Ninjala's lore.
Yeah, one of them was really surprisingly dark. It was really weird. Like it was like that character with the ponytails. I think I watched it, and like it was just
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll go back to my childhood where I was getting bullied by kids, and then this big creepy pasta fell out of my eyeball and almost murdered them, and like almost destroyed a whole street and all this kind of stuff. It's just like, yep, this is anime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was quite an interesting backstory for that character in particular, and how and and it she did make a quite a surprising transformation at the end of the episode, which it makes sense, but it's just weird seeing how she got to be like that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that much plot from Ninjala, I suppose.
I'm sure that they didn't mention this in the developer diary, but they're going to do more story ep, single player story missions for the game, and the first one was based on the character that the first episode of the anime focused on. So I imagine that's going to be the focal point of the second story levels,
Yeah,
where you play as this girl from the second episode, and
Hmm.
I'm sure it'll take place after the events of the animation.
yeah. Yeah, because she definitely can't do any of the stuff she did in that episode in the game. Like you can't make big, like tentacle creatures come out of your eyeballs.
No, I hadn't even thought about if they're going to try and work that into the game.
Probably
I,
not. It's
I
probably just like a little extra thing.
it might be in the single player mode. I don't see how they could add that into the multiplayer,
No,
especially because
seems a bit OP.
especially because you can fashion your character to look like any of the important characters in the anime if you want, and you
Well,
can have
kind
their
of.
voices as well. So if you wanted to, you could play
Except for
as
their
that same
clothes, you have to
character.
you have to buy those.
Okay, yeah, except for that,
Yeah.
but
it's a bit awkward. Like when that was one of the things that annoyed me most about the final game is how much how much stuff the open beta gave you, and how much of that you don't get in the final game. It's like most of it you can't even buy, even if you wanted to. Like even if you wanted to spend money on them costumes, you can't because they're not there.
Yeah, I suppose they were just giving you a taste of what could be available to you later on.
Yeah, this is what the game will be
I
like.
kind
This
of
is what
wish
the game will be like in 2023.
I do kind of wish they'd at least let you keep a few of those things, just like
Yeah.
as incentive for taking part in the open
Yeah,
beta.
even if there was just like, you played the open beta for so many hours, you unlocked this for the final game and stuff like that. That would have been a nice little reason to play the open beta. But yeah, the fact that you had to start from scratch with the final game was a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, especially because of how much the open beta didn't even work for some people. Like for a long time, I
Yeah.
couldn't even connect,
Yeah, that
and they did
first
eventually
one they
fix
did
that.
was, oof, yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, and they fixed it, so it actually works now. But it would have been nice to like give people something for actually taking time out of their busy schedules only to not play the game.
Right, so two more little bits of news, I guess. This is just like a weird little thing, but basically, Sega Forever put out a video about Nights into Dreams, basically advertising the fact that it was on sale on Steam, but also as like one of their little things where they basically talk about the history of a game briefly.
And also because it was the, I think, 24th anniversary of the US launch of Nights.
Yes, that'll be it. Yeah. So yeah, Sega Forever, which is like Sega's retro department, they were mainly formed to put out like those mobile Mega Drive ports,
Yeah.
stuff
I
like
mentioned them earlier when I was talking about how I was playing Shining Force 2.
that. Yeah,
That was through one
I-
of their
I
apps.
don't think they're really doing as much of that nowadays, but they are still doing all the social media stuff where they're basically digging into the archives and uploading high resolution scans of like a lot of the old box arts and stuff like that. But yeah, they put out this little Nights into Dreams video. Yeah, most of the information in it was all stuff we pretty much knew about, like the development of the game and stuff. But then this popped up. I'm just going to put this up on the screen. Nope, not that one. Wrong one. This popped up.
Oh.
So yeah, just in the bottom corner of the screen, they were like, "Oh, Knights went through a few different character designs before they got to the final thing." And one of the pictures is this, what I presume is a early concept art for the American box art.
Different.
You gotta love how someone at Sega of America thought at first maybe it might be a good idea for when we put this character on the cover, make them not look the way they do in the game.
Yep.
That'll sell people on the game.
Yeah,
Probably.
so the way they worded it in the video made it sound like this was an early design for the character, but I don't think that's what this is. I think what this is Sega of America going, right, we've got to do the box art. We could do better artwork than Japan can, and this is what they came up with. It wouldn't be the only time that happened back then, especially on the Saturn. Just look at the, like, for example, the American box art, the Guardian Heroes, like what happened there. But yeah, that's what I reckon this is.
Or Stall.
Yeah, Star as well. Plenty of games back then. They just made their own artwork for whatever reason. Even all the artwork for Nights into Dreams was perfect as it was. Like, it's a really good art style. It still looks good now.
I remember even
yeah.
Yuji Naka saw this video and he commented on the box art on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he said that it honestly wouldn't have looked out of place with the cover art for most of the other games on the Saturn back then.
Yeah, exactly. Like it
Which
was.
he kind of has a point.
He really does. Like, this was more an issue with like the American box arts than the PAL ones, because a lot of the time the PAL ones did use some of the Japanese art. For example, Guardian Heroes just uses a bunch of the artwork from the Japanese version. So it did happen sometimes here, but not as often. But yeah, another tweet I saw, there's actually a friend of mine on, or someone I follow on Twitter. he said he actually saw this box art in a shop once back in the day, back before the game came out in EB Games as like a pre-order, like temporary box. And he completely forgot about it, and he thought it was either lost media or he just imagined it. But as soon as it popped up in the video, it just brought his memories flooding back. So they did actually use this at one point as like a pre-order box. Gee, I wonder why the game didn't sell well. I mean, it didn't sell well because it was a weird game that most people couldn't quite phase what the hell you do. But ignoring that, like, look at it. Look at his face. You know what he looks like to me? He looks like the character from B Movie.
Oh,
Yes.
Barry.
Oh, I thought it looked familiar.
Yeah, he looks like he's from the friggin' B Movie. For starters, he's got big eyebrows. He's got a nose, which Knights doesn't have.
And it's the nightmare of like a lot of Knights fans.
Yeah, it's just ugh.
The boogeyman's real,
really
and
spooky.
you
and then just this horrible font work as well. Like what? Like should maybe I should maybe I should actually put up an image of
You know what this looks like? It looks like exactly what it is, a prototype.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to see if I can bring up the original just for comparison. What the hell just happened? Yeah. Let me just find what they actually released with instead. Because just for people that might be in the chat that don't know what the original game looks like or something, there's a possibility. Quickly pop that up. Right. Let's move him out of the way. Yeah, there you go. That's the actual artwork that they used. So, bit of a difference.
It's like clip art, like Jester.
Yeah, he looks like some stock thing. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought this was fascinating, and so did the entire Knights community. It was just like, where did this come from? Like they all just came out of the woodwork. Like, what the hell is this?
Also, I will say it looks a lot more inviting, not having one of the bosses staring you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that too. It's just like
that, and they put the Sonic Team logo on it, so it probably sold. That probably sold a few people on the game. Who
probably sold like 4 more copies.
Sonic.
I mean, I think that's why I got the game back in the day.
I sure was interested.
I was like,
in the
oh,
game
Sonic Team. I didn't know that was a thing.
Sonic Team.
Yeah, because I think that was actually the first time I'd seen the name Sonic Team, because everything before that was just Sonic Games, and like they didn't really have a logo before that point. I think that was the first game that they were actually coined as Sonic Team.
Well, I think Rystar came out before this.
Oh, Rystar came out before, but it didn't say Sonic Team on it. From what I remember,
it not?
No, it was just Sega. It didn't really have anything involving. Like, there was no logo or anything like that. So I just remember Knights being the first time I saw that logo. Yeah, the Sonic Team logo.
I remember that's what sold me on a bunch of other games they made later, which I also didn't get to play at the time. Stuff like Phantasy Star Online. I knew that was Sonic Team. Billy Hatcher, even the Astro Boy game on the PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah, of course. By that point, the Sonic Team name was pretty famous, but like I feel like Knights was the first time they actually used it. As far as I know, I could be wrong, but yeah, that's that. I kind of feel like Sega have gone into a little bit of a panic since Balan Wonderworld got announced. Do you think? I know they're doing it because of the anniversary and stuff, but also I feel like because everyone was going absolutely crazy over Balan Wonderworld, it really lit the Knights community up, made them all come out and be like just in love with this new character and this new game that's been made for next year. And so maybe Sega were like, oh yeah, Knights, that thing. We forgot it has a fan base, a very, very vocal fan base. Maybe we should try and appease them for a second. Here, throw them a bone. Throw them this horrible old box art. I kind of hope a high-res version of this gets uploaded.
I kind of feel like it might just be a coincidence, but at the same time...
I'm sure they're aware. I'm sure they're aware how big Balan Wonderworld kicked off with Knights fans as soon as it was announced.
Yeah.
I think
But,
as
like,
soon as that got announced, Sega looked at it and went, "Oh."
But at the same time, like, I don't know if they're going to do anything for the 25th anniversary of Knights' US release next year. I don't think they
Probably
did
not.
anything. I think this was the 25th anniversary of the Japan release this year, and they didn't do anything special for that. So
No.
maybe if Balan Wonderland hadn't been announced at the time that it was, they probably wouldn't have even had Sega Forever make a video like this until next year.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I do feel like this is kind of like a little guttural reaction to it. You know, it's like, oh yeah, remember this? You can buy it on Steam. You buy it on Steam
It also
if you haven't
helps
already.
It also helps that it's actually on sale on Steam, like less than $2 actually for anyone who doesn't have it.
Yeah,
So
that's
so
obviously
they
why
kind of
did
have
it.
to do something just to remind people that it's there and you can buy it.
To give you an idea of just how kind of weird like the whole situation with the Night Steam release is, they actually bundled it as part of the Dreamcast collection on Steam, and I was like, it's not a
Part of that
Dreamcast
collection,
game.
which is
It's
so
not
weird.
a Dreamcast game.
And not only that, when they showed in the Dreamcast collection graphic, they actually used the cover art from Knight's Journey of Dreams,
Yep.
the sequel on the Wii.
This is the only art we have. I don't know, just we'll use that's the highest res art we've got. We'll just throw that on there instead.
It's the most resembling of what the game might have looked like if there was a Dreamcast version.
Yeah, possibly. Like there almost was, wasn't there? They did sort of plan.
There was almost a motion controlled game,
That was
which they were never able to release a motion controller, but the technology they did come up with went into the Dreamcast fishing controller.
And it was originally going to be like a little attachment for the Saturn 3D pad, because like the wire part does actually come out, doesn't it?
That's true.
I didn't even notice that until like a few years ago. Like I had no idea that came out. Like I never even accidentally pulled it out. But yeah, as soon as someone went, "Oh, you can take that out," and they were originally going to put like a motion sensor in there and make it wireless, and I was like, I pulled it out. I was like, "What? That's a thing."
They actually had a lot of plans for that. Actually,
Yeah.
there was a video by a guy named Genovi where he showed a whole bunch of blueprints for accessories for the Saturn 3D pad.
Yeah.
And there was all sorts of interesting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that. It's not really news. It was just a weird little thing. Speaking of ugly, one more thing that just popped up in the on my feed earlier today was this trio of limited edition Xbox Ones that are made to commemorate the new Wonder Woman film coming out later in the year, Wonder Woman 84. Just look at these.
Oh, one of them looks like something out of
Look at them.
Looks like.
Oh my god, these things are so garish. Especially the fur one.
Yeah, like the fur one's got like spikes. It's got like some kind of like leopard print. I think that's one of the characters.
It looks like something out of out of my old neighbour's house.
And then, oh yeah, it's just yeah, these are real bad. These are real
admittedly, the left controller looks all right, but everything else. Bleh.
What, the like really colourful one?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's okay. Like it doesn't really go with any of the systems. I don't understand why like the system's orange and then has the multicoloured logo on it, and it's just got like this what I assume is a plastic rope.
Like is the rope completely static? I imagine it is, but
yeah. Also, like the one with the obviously the most egregious one being the leather print one, like that looks like it's actual material that's been wrapped around the console. Is that going to be good for ventilation? I presume they've designed it in a way that it isn't in the way of the fan holes, but like, wow. Yeah, this is a thing. I just thought I would pop this up on the screen because it gave me the idea of just talking about limited edition consoles in general and how a majority of them are hideous, and maybe just discuss some of our favourites or least favourites. I've got a few pictures I can line up to show up on the screen as well. So I guess I'll just pop on a couple that I've been looking around at, because there's been a lot of these in the past, and one thing I noticed is there seems to be a lot of really bad Xbox One ones for some reason.
Oh.
Like, for example, this Forza one, which is just like a bit of a car. It's like a car bonnet. Like,
I've
the
never
controller
even
looks alright.
Before.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen this in the flesh. I just found this one image. I'm not even sure if this even came out. Like,
I'm
officially.
pretty sure it isn't, because the ventilation holes are just, as it's going over like the top of it, it doesn't look real at all.
Yeah, no, I'm not even convinced this one's real. It just kept coming up when I was looking up like limited edition consoles. So I don't know if this one's even, because again, in the case of the Wonder Woman ones, I don't know if they're actually going to be sold in shops. They might just be like a promo, like limited run thing for like press or something, and that might be the case for this one as well. But either way, would not want this on my shelf anyway. Like, the controller's nice on this one, but that it's just like a lump of a car. And yeah, speaking of weird Xbox Ones, I don't know why there's so many Xbox Ones that are horrible, but there's this Game of Thrones one.
Oh God!
I don't know if you can see this in the stream, but like, it's just got like all these weird.
Before either.
Yeah, again, I don't know what the context of this one is, other than that there were some of these in existence at some point. Then maybe they gave them away in a contest or something. But how the hell do you put this on a shelf? Like, it's got all these stupid like bits sticking off the top of it. Like, what? What do you?
If you actually shell out the money for one of these, you better find a way.
Yeah, I'd imagine most, because the way it's laid out, you basically have to put this like either in a glass cabinet, or you'd have to have it on top of a table, so nothing's on, like obscuring the top of it, and so you can actually see the logo, the Game of Thrones logo. But yeah, I just don't. It's bad.
Surely a pair of googly eyes would have done to make it a Game of Thrones one, would it?
Yeah.
No, like in the very first episode, there was that deceased king, and they put the eyes on him.
Oh yeah. I guess I'll just pop up. I think I've already run out of pictures, but like, I'll put up an example of recent special edition you could actually buy that I think is really nice. This Animal Crossing Switch. I think this is gorgeous. Like the color scheme
really nice.
And the little bit of artwork on the dock. I just think this is really cute. Like, the only thing that could have improved this is to make the buttons and the joysticks the same colour as, like, the dock, maybe. Or just do them a different colour so they sort of blend in with, like, the blue and the green. I also kind of like that Pokemon one they did for Let's Go.
It was like
Eevee and Pikachu.
Yeah, the one that's got like Eevee and Pikachu on the dock, and then it's got like the yellow and brown Joy-Cons. I saw that in a CEX, and I actually thought it was really nice. It's like, I kind of want the Joy-Cons. Like, just the colours are really pleasant. I don't know why. I know some people look at it and go, it's pee and poo, but like, no, when you see it in the flesh, they're like kind of a bit like this Animal Crossing one. They're quite like subtle, sort of like pastel colours, and they're just quite pleasant. What do I do with the other images I had on there?
There was a Super Smash Brothers Ultimate one too.
Yeah, I didn't really like that one much. I thought that one was a bit basic. They basically just put like the lines on the dock, and then I thought that one was a bit basic in comparison.
I guess, but I really would have liked to have that one. It wasn't available yet when I got my Switch.
Speaking of Pokemon, do you remember the Pikachu Nintendo 64?
Yeah, I've got to bring that up as well.
I would have loved to have that as well.
I remember seeing these everywhere back in the day, like when they first came out. Like, everyone was clamoring to get them.
And now you hardly ever see them. They're quite valuable today.
Yeah, I guess so. But I just remember seeing this thing back in the day and thinking it looked horrendous. Like, it's just really ugly in the flesh.
It's
Like,
just the right side is just basically stretched out just to fit in Pikachu.
yeah, exactly. Like, there are pictures of it opened up and there's just a big empty space of plastic. Basically, where his foot is, which is one of the, I think it's actually like the power button or the eject button or the reset.
The reset, yeah.
Yeah, you press his foot to reset, which is kind of cute, I suppose. But like, yeah, from that point, it's just all like empty plastic in that corner. Yeah.
Also, Pikachu's cheeks light up when the system's on.
Oh, do
Oh, yeah.
they? Oh, that's kind of cool. That's actually quite cute. If I was a little kid that was obsessed with Pokemon, I would love this. Like, I'd be like, yeah, this is the shit. But like, that's exactly what I'd say as a kid. But,
I
yeah.
was a kid who was obsessed with Pokemon, and I adored that in 64.
Yeah, I
Plus,
can
I
see.
already
I can see why people would
Or
like this.
that came out.
Yeah, I guess this is like one of those things, isn't it? Like, I just think the garish blue is a bit much, and yeah, I don't know. I never really thought the N64 was a very good-looking console anyway. Like in general, I always thought it was a bit bland. But yeah, this is like the total opposite. It's like too garish. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else has any like particular favourites or least favourites that they remember.
Wasn't there a Hello Kitty Dreamcast?
Yeah, there's two actually. There's a pink one and a blue one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
They're
forgot there
really
was two,
expensive now.
actually.
Oh god, yeah. I'm gonna have to bring up some of the other pictures I found earlier.
Mhm.
But I think one of the ones that, again, like the Pokemon one, it's not really for me. But if I was a kid that was into Minecraft, the Xbox One Minecraft is actually kind of cool. I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's basically like the Xbox One console is just like one of the big textures of like the blocks. So it's got like a bit of grass and a bit of ground, and then the controller is like a creeper.
I've totally seen it.
Yeah, that one's. I actually think that's quite cool.
See,
That one's
the
actually
only
pretty
thing
cool.
I'll say about that is that the design for the console itself actually makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's just like a big Minecraft block. Yeah, it actually looks like a part of the game that you can put discs in. It's
I think they even sold that particular Xbox One in Japan.
Yeah, they sold it everywhere. I remember it coming out over here.
Wasn't it exclusive to Argos?
Might have been, yeah. I can't remember exactly, but I do remember it coming out and thinking, oh, that's actually quite cute. That's actually well thought out, you know?
Yeah, it's actually a Minecraft 2DS XL.
Oh, yeah, that creeper one. It's actually kind of like embossed.
Yeah.
Like they actually sculpted the face into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's really nice as well.
I forgot about that one too.
I think my favourite 3DS that they do is the Super Nintendo one.
Oh, yeah.
That's lovely. I'd love to get that.
I wish I had that one.
Hmm?
I wish I had that one.
Yeah.
Or at least the lime green one that used to be exclusive to Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And also, does anyone here have or has had limited edition consoles before? Because I think the main one I remember having was the NES style Game Boy Advance SP.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was quite nice.
Cool.
It wasn't amazing, but I did have it for a little while. There's some really nice SPs. I still want to try and find this new CherryT, the SpongeBob one.
Oh yes, I was going to say about that.
It's just SpongeBob's face on the top of it, but it just makes perfect sense because it's square. It's like, that's really cool.
It makes a lot more sense than the Shrek Game Boy Advance SP.
There's a Shrek one.
Which is just... Yeah, there was
I've never
a
seen
Shrek
that.
one. I actually saw it in a store. I actually saw it in a retro gaming store a few years ago. It's just the top is green, and then the bottom is brown.
Oh, okay. They didn't even bother to put like art on it or anything.
Yeah, and I think it actually came with one of those Game Boy Advance video cartridges that had the movie on it.
Ah, that would make sense.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, that was a thing. Game Boy Advance video.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that was totally a thing.
Those were the days.
I actually had a few special edition consoles. I just remembered how I have a Pokemon Game Boy Color,
Oh,
which
nice.
has...
Is that the one with like Pichu and that on the sides of it?
No. The one I have is the one with Pikachu and Jigglypuff, which
Okay.
came out with Pokemon Yellow, and it actually came bundled with Pokemon Yellow. That's how I
cool.
got it.
Oh.
And then I also used to have the Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds Nintendo 3DS XL. I don't have it anymore, though, because I dropped it once and broke the headphone jack. And when I contacted Nintendo to get it fixed, the price for the repair was almost as much as the new Nintendo 3DS XL, which was just about to come out in a month. So I decided instead of getting it repaired, I would just buy the new 3DS XL, which is just a regular red one.
Hmm.
And then I actually sent the Zelda 3DS back to Nintendo to their recycling center.
Ah.
So I'm sure they fixed it up and resold it on their website as a refurbished unit, which they actually did sell some limited edition 3DSs over there as refurbished units.
Hmm.
And then I showed you earlier this Mountain Dew classic Xbox.
Oh
Oh
God.
yes. That lime
I
green
have
one.
one. Yeah, I have one of these too. These were given out in a contest in I think 2005, which is also the year the 360 came out.
Hmm.
So what happened back then was if you buy Pepsi and Mountain Dew products, you would get Pepsi points, which you could spend on all sorts of different prizes online.
Oh
And
yeah.
if you gotten enough, you could get one of 1,000 Mountain Dew Xboxes.
Oh wow.
And the story of how I got this is really, really cool.
Hmm.
I didn't actually enter that contest. I didn't know about it.
Hmm.
But I watched this guy on YouTube called Gamester81 who collects a lot of rare variant consoles and does videos about them. And years ago, he did a video on the Mountain Dew Xbox, which up until then, I'd never heard of this version of the Xbox. And so after I watched his video, and I took note of the fact that he said only 1,000 were made. So I expected it to be really expensive. I decided just out of curiosity to look on eBay and see how much they go for.
Hmm.
And I saw a Mountain Dew Xbox bundle that came with 3 controllers. It came with 4 games. It came with Halo, Halo 2, the collector's edition, Halo, Doom 3, the collector's edition,
Hmm.
and Gauntlet Dark Legacy. And it also came with the original box
Hmm.
that the console shipped in.
Hmm.
It had all of that, and the highest bid at the time was about $70 or $80
Okay.
with only one day to go. So I decided, you know what? I'll bid like $95 on this thing. I'm probably going to lose, but we'll see what happens. And so the next day I was gone for work all day. And when I got back home, I learned that I actually won the auction.
Hmm.
So I actually got my Mountain Dew Xbox with all that stuff. And ever since then, I occasionally look on eBay for more Mountain Dew Xboxes just to see if I can get another deal like the one I found. Bruh, I have never
Bruh.
ever seen a Mountain Dew Xbox ever since then for less than $500 without any games or controllers or the box included.
Nice.
Never.
Yeah. Wait,
And
how many years ago did you get it?
that was like I think this was in 2013 or
Ah, well.
2012.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about
But
right. Everything
but
has
after
gotten rare and expensive since then. Everything.
yeah,
We
but
discussed that last week.
but after that, I actually got to meet Gamester81 at the second Retro World Expo
Oh.
a couple years later. And I told him this whole story, and then I thanked him personally for making that video. Because if he did not make that Xbox, if he didn't make that Mountain Dew Xbox video at the time that he did, I never would have thought to look on eBay at the time that I did. I
Hmm.
would have missed that deal, and I'd never have another chance at it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I should probably put a picture up of it so people can actually see what it looks like.
Yeah, you should put up a picture. I kind of wish I'd photographed my
It's
own Xbox.
very green.
So I didn't get to do that.
Oh man, it's like Nickelodeon like slime green.
And it's got a little Mountain Dew logo where the Xbox thing is. Like the Xbox
Yeah,
thing
isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, I guess. So they're the ones you've got. I'm just going to put up a couple other really cool ones that I think are really neat that I don't think many people have seen before. So there's a Tezuka World by Astro Boy and other franchises Game Boy Light. This is really friggin' cool.
Yeah,
Look at this thing.
Like
It's like
Osamu Tezuka, the creator of that.
Yeah. It's a see-through red Game Boy Light, but then it's got all these Tezuka characters right in the middle of it. It just looks so nice. Like I'd almost be afraid to use it because I'd be afraid that the artwork would get worn out, like right on the front of it there, where your thumbs are gonna be. But yeah,
Yeah, this isn't like my Pokemon Game Boy Color where Pikachu and Jigglypuff are on the screen bezel.
yeah.
No, this is right in front of the controls. So
And
yeah,
I've definitely mentioned this in the podcast in the past, but I think another one that I think is amazing and kind of hilarious when you think about it is the Pikachu edition Pico.
Yeah.
I did not see this thing before.
Have you never seen this? You've never seen this?
I know that there were Pokemon games on the Pico in Japan, but
There's
I did not know there was a Pico.
There's a special edition Pico with Pikachu's face on it. There's a Sega console with a Nintendo character on it. I still think they missed a trick not calling this thing the Pikachu, but there we are. Like, yeah, the Pikachu. Hey, that's what they should have called it. But yeah, I actually saw one of these for sale just the other day on Facebook. I think it was about 250 quid, which doesn't seem like a fortune. I don't know how many of these they made or anything, but yeah, it's neat. I just think it's hilarious that this thing exists. It's like a Sega. It's technically a Sega. Well, it's a Sega toys, but it's a Sega console with Pikachu on it.
Looks a lot like the Pikachu 2DS or 3DS.
Yeah,
3DS XL.
Yeah, kind of.
It was a 3DS. It does kind of look like that, doesn't it?
And another one that I've seen in the past that I would really love to own. I'll just quickly grab the image. Hang on, I'll find a good high res picture of it. That'd be better. So there's a particular Game Gear that is really cool. Well, there's a couple really cool Game Gears, but for some reason I think I really dig this one.
It's the Coca-Cola one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really simple, but I just really I really dig it. Like, where's the picture gone? Where's it gone in Google Images? Why didn't it put it? Where is it? Oh, I hate when it does this. I'm trying to find.
Are you guys drinking Coca-Cola yet?
Yeah, so yeah, the whole thing about like Sega collaborated with both Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Like they didn't pick a side. They would go with either. So what's really cool about this as well is it was bundled with that Coca-Cola Kid game, which is basically like a platformer that was running on the Sonic Chaos engine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember I saw this thing a long time ago in a Tips and Tricks magazine in their import section where they show lots of cool video game stuff in Japan. And I saw the Coca-Cola Game Gear along with the Coca-Cola Kid game in that magazine. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, I just love the colour of it, and I love the fact that it has to say Game Gear in giant text, even though it already says Game Gear elsewhere on the system. It's like they could have had more real estate for the Coca-Cola logo, but they just put Coca-Cola Game Gear. Love it. There's also a Virtual Fighter Game Gear that's pretty cool. It's just like a big... It's almost like a completely different design. I don't know if you've seen that one. I think it was actually branded. I think it was branded as like kids gear. I've actually played one before. If you go into like our earliest videos on Lucky Hit, If I can find a picture of the actual Game Gear. What's cool about this one is it's actually like they've kind of re-sculpted the console slightly. It's like a completely different. Let me try and find an actual high-res picture of it, not just like some tiny JPEG. That'd be nice. These are all tiny. This is a good one. Right. Should have found this earlier, shouldn't I? I can't find a good high-res picture of it. I wish there was a way I could just drag these pictures into the stream. I can't do that. But yeah. But yeah, this one's really cool as well. I actually played one of these. What was I trying to say? I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah, if you go into our earliest videos, there was a video we did about a Dreamcast anniversary party we went to. It's somewhere in London. And they had one of these Game Gears there. And they actually had Virtua Fighter 3 on the Dreamcast running through it. Where's the picture?
Via the TV tuner.
Yes, yeah, via the TV tuner, yeah. If I can get the picture to actually show up, that'd be nice. Where is it? I put the picture in and it's just not showing up. That's really annoying. Why are you doing this to me? No. Is it too small? What's going on? Oh, I don't know. I can't get it to show up. Just look up Virtua Fighter Game Gears because I can't get the picture to load for some reason. It's just got cool artwork on it. I think it was bundled with that Virtua Fighter animation game. And again, it was Japan only, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I have the game. The game kit got a US release. Pretty sure
it got a PAL one as well, yeah.
Pretty sure the Game Gear itself didn't come out here though.
No, it was Japan only. It's actually branded Kids Gear as well. It's not even called a Game Gear, it's called a Kids Gear. But yeah, they're some of the cool special editions that I'd actually kind of like to have if I could have them. I don't know if there's any others that are like desirable to any of you guys.
I'm just thinking about the Legend of Zelda Hyrulean Shield 2DS XL.
Oh yeah.
That it wasn't available over here, but someone I know imported it. And yeah, it's just the detail on the front of it, and it's just a shame that all the good stuff's on the back of it. But yeah, it does look pretty cool when.
There we go. I finally got it to pop up on the screen.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why it wasn't before, but I managed to get the.
Oh wait, I have seen this before.
Yeah, it's cool how it's like a completely different sculpt. It's like they redid the buttons and they sort of redid the whole front of it, so they could basically put a big flat picture on it. It's just
actually, I think I also saw this in Tips and Tricks magazine's import section before once.
Oh, you might have done, yeah. Yeah, I'd actually really like to own this one. Obviously, like Game Gears are all kind of dying, like the capacitors keep going in them, and you have to mod them just to get them to work. But yeah,
yeah, I'm in the process of fixing mine with some new capacitors. So, thankfully, the old ones haven't leaked, so I still got time to do it.
That's good. Yeah. Oh, sorry if we butt in on what you were saying, Hunk Thunder, about the Zelda one.
Yeah. What else was there? Oh, I remember a competition that EA did a while ago for the Simpsons game. They actually made a yellow Xbox 360.
Oh, I know the one you mean. Yeah, the one with Homer's face on the side.
Yeah, I know it's just a simple design and all, but it looked great.
Oh, you know which 360 I quite liked? The R2-D2 one they did for Star Wars Connect. I always thought that was a cool design because it was quite like they actually made the 360 look like it could be an R2-D2 type thing. It's got like all the little bits of like circuitry and all that illustrated onto it. I thought it was quite a tastefully done design considering what it was. And it also came with like a gold controller that was obviously to complement it as like C-3PO, which I thought was cute.
And it actually played
noises when you.
Yeah,
did it?
Just about to say that. Yeah.
Oh my god, I want it. It does the beep
you
boops. It does the beep boops.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what you hear instead of the nondescript ding when you turn it on or when you open the disk drive.
I wonder what happens when it gets red ring.
Eh.
You just go. Or it does that, or it does R2D2 scream.
I was gonna say it probably does that.
Or whatever it does, yeah, weird scream. I can't do it. That.
Yeah, you were saying like the best and worst console variations. I do really like the Star Wars one, Star Wars Xbox 360 that you just mentioned. But I'd say one of the worst ones was the PlayStation 4 Darth Vader variation.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a plain picture of Darth Vader,
I
but
thought
the
that looked
controller.
alright. Oh, what was the controller like? Because I thought the actual console looked alright.
The controller was all black, but for some reason the buttons were white and the circle button was red, and that somehow resembled Darth Vader somehow. But yeah, I personally I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's fair. There was a very recent one, wasn't there, for Death Stranding that got quite a lot of attention because of its its controller. So the actual system was white, and it had like the handprints of like the baby going across the console, which is fair enough. But then they tried to make the controller look like the like incubator thing that the baby is stored in, so it was basically piss yellow. Like
I remember
piss yellow.
That's so odd. I remember everyone was commenting on that on social media when it was first unveiled.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, I can't think of any other ones.
Yeah, I think we probably covered most, but I don't think any of them are going to top these Wonder Woman ones anytime soon. I think they might be possibly the ugliest consoles I've ever seen. And again, I literally saw the picture on Twitter just before the podcast and didn't know what the context of them was, whether they were like a contest thing or what. But I wouldn't want to win it anyway, unless it was just as an investment to sell later. Just store it away, like as deep into a closet as you can for a few years.
Yeah, somewhere where you don't have to look at it.
Yeah.
Write yourself a note, like a note that says something like, "Yeah, in 10 years you might want to pull this out and put it up for sale."
If anyone wants it. Yeah. Alright. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up this podcast. I don't know why that came out like that, but there we go. Yeah, that was the 85th Lucky Hit podcast on the 25th of August. And if I remember rightly, let me just double check. This is also the 650th video on the channel. Yeah.
Milestones all round.
Yeah, milestones all round. The numbers, they all have 5s in them. Yeah.
Counting up the days until you get to a really interesting number divisible by 5.
Yeah.
Or
pretty much.
The videos, not the days, I mean.
Every podcast is a milestone because it's a miracle that we can even do them.
Especially me being stranded in London and running all the way here.
Yeah, basically jumping in, not quite midway, but like in there. But yeah, I have been the Gagaman.
I have been Cherry Terrier.
What was that?
I've been Hunk Thunder.
And I've been Big Elk, but I'm not Big Elk anymore. Now I'm Big Cereal.
Okay then. But are you a Minecraft cereal? You have like little creeper marshmallows.
Yes, I'm a Minecraft cereal. Yes.
Yep. Right. With that, we'll be off. We will see you. Yeah. Thanks, Buster Gundo, for saying good podcast. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you stuck around as well. Yeah. Thanks both. Everyone. Thanks everyone that joins us when they do, or every week, or whenever. But it's always nice to have people in the chat as well. That's always a bonus.
Tell your friends they can join us in the chat too.
Yeah, we should probably we will most likely be doing another one of these next Monday, because I think that's the day that I've got off work. I'm basically working all weekend and Tuesday, but I should be able to do one on Monday. So possibly. Anyway, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, we will see you next week sometime.
Bye bye.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah.
So have a good week, anyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. One and all. Why do I keep saying that? I've said that on so many podcasts. One and all. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you and good night.
Go home, folks.
They're probably already home, but you know.
Good. Stay there.
Yeah. Stay at home.
That's where it's safest.